A raisin is a grape that is dehydrated?
Yeah,
Right.
it's like the raisin equivalent of a plum.
So raisin is just a term for dehydration in fruit. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I assumed raisin was its own thing. I didn't know it was a general term that could cover other categories.
Well, at least in the Achievement Hunter world, that's the case. I don't know in the larger world.
Is Humpty Dumpty an Easter thing?
No.
Because what we did speaking of okay, well there's a reason for this. When we did the Break Shit 2 stream, speaking of things or like moments that pass where you can't comment, somebody mailed a bunch of packs very kindly to you, and you're going through the packs, and one of them was like Easter themed, and it looked like a giant egg, which I assume was Humpty Dumpty, and I never really thought about the fact that Humpty Dumpty was an egg, which then made me think, is Humpty Dumpty an Easter thing? I don't really know the origin of Humpty Dumpty, so I just thought I'd ask.
I don't think he lived long enough to find out.
I just wanted to ask. It came to my mind. We're talking about this stuff. I don't know how I got there, but I was just curious. I didn't think he was.
I've never associated Humpty Dumpty with Easter.
It's part of the Easter pack, though. Well, I never thought about the fact he was, because who would try to put an egg back together? When you break an egg, there's no...
Well, especially using horses. Of course a horse couldn't put an egg back together.
Yeah, that's really weird that the horses were involved. I don't know what part the horses were in on. I always assumed they wrote in, but you're right, the wording.
Do you think that when they said all the king's horses and all the king's men, they're talking about the King of Kings, God? And this is a whole metaphor where, like, not even God could put Humpty Dumpty back together. He's so broken.
I think that's a bit slightly deeper than what they were going for.
Yeah, no, I never even considered who the king would be.
That makes it religious because Easter is a religious holiday. Maybe that's the angle into Easter.
Ah.
So was he always an egg, or was he a man that died and then became an egg to make it more nursery rhyme friendly?
Humpty Dumpty. Was that a nickname?
What is the story behind, what is the origin?
This is Vin Diesel 2.0.
Origin of
Quietly Googling Humpty Dumpty. How old was Humpty Dumpty during the first Fast and Furious?
Yeah, we're in the Fast and the Furious portion of the...
Humpty Dumpty doesn't give away the fact that he's an egg. It's not like Eggy Weggy on the wall.
No.
It's Humpty Dumpty. It's like a great name for a camel. There's a pissed off camel somewhere that he can't use that name.
Through the Looking Glass has the Humpty Dumpty stuff in it, and in chapter 6 Humpty Dumpty is apparently, he becomes more, the egg only got larger and larger and more human. What?
So wait, an egg started inflating.
Oh no, that's terrifying. So you're saying that I could have got Humpty Dumpty in a carton was his origin? Like he started standard regulation egg size and then
just
became
part of a dozen eggs.
Yeah, he's just part of a pack. And he grew.
It predates the Lewis Carroll story.
Huh. Okay, sorry, we didn't have to veer off completely on Humpty Dumpty. I was just curious. It just popped into my head.
Oh. It says, as with a lot of these iconic old tales, though, things aren't as they seem here. Not at all. Incredibly, the original Humpty Dumpty wasn't an egg. He was probably a cannon.
A cannon?
Yeah, the original story predates Carroll's take on the character. According to a number of military historians, Humpty Dumpty was the name of a cannon used by the Royalists during the English Civil War. The conflict ranged from 1642 to 1649, and in June of 1648, Humpty Dumpty was stationed on the walls of Colchester. It was one of several cannons erected to try and keep Parliament's army from taking the city. Dude, Humpty Dumpty saved your country, Gavin.
I just like the idea of someone knocking over a cannon and it rolls off a wall, and that became a pivotal moment in human history for decades and centuries to come.
The cannon is named Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah. Let's see.
Was it on like a little raised portion of the ground?
Someone got killed by Humpty Dumpty.
The next month, however, the parliamentary forces heavily damaged the walls beneath Humpty Dumpty with their own artillery. You can guess where this is going. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, broke into pieces. As for that business of all the king's horses and all the king's men, it seems like those lines can be taken quite literally. The royalists, or cavaliers, were very much the king's men fighting in support of King Charles, who would go on to lose the war, yada, yada, yada. So, interesting.
So, that's a good point. How many people did Humpty Dumpty kill?
He was probably a mass murderer.
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
Can you imagine sending horses in to fix a cannon? That's more unreasonable to me than fixing an egg with horses. I would never send horses for a candidate.
Well, no, it's more unreasonable to fix an egg because a horse could do a lot more damage to a broken egg than a broken cannon.
Yeah, but I feel
a
like
horse is just going to make it worse.
no, I feel like a horse, you just kind of got to line the egg up, right? Like if you're fixing a cannon, that's a mechanical level. You're going to need tools. A horse can't hold a screwdriver.
Right, yeah, a horse can't hold a wrench and a screwdriver,
No.
that's why.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe in its mouth it could. There's probably ways that this could work.
But the problem with it's the great failure of a horse is that it doesn't have opposable hooves. It's what holds it back.
It does. I'd agree with that.
Other little one I just threw up. It's just a picture of Humpty Dumpty that I ran into when I was in Detroit. I had a whole Apple weekend. I kind of covered it in the supplemental episode, so I don't need to go through it again. But I couldn't remember if I shared that creepy ass fucking Humpty Dumpty with y'all or not. But it definitely stuck out to me. Once again, Humpty Dumpty also. Don Zimmer, Humpty Dumpty, they're everywhere in the world. You just don't realize it till you open your eyes.
I'm also deeply alarmed by the slushy flavors in that photo. What the fuck is a blue raz? What is a blue raz?
Well, blue slushies are raspberry flavor, aren't they?
But what?
It's like the universal slushy color for a raspberry to differentiate from straws.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, well,
Like
I think
a blue
this is just,
slush puppy?
I never would associate that as like a raspberry. Huh.
You wouldn't?
No, it's just blue.
Yeah.
It just tastes blue. It has a blue taste.
I mean, you know it's all based on a fruit, right? What fruit would you think?
I would assume blueberry. If you're going blue, like typically you make the color match the fruit that it is, not the other way.
But does anyone really, on the tip of their tongue, know what a blueberry flavor tastes like?
Yeah, I love blueberry. What are you talking about?
I'm a big blueberry fan too. It's up there.
I mean, I'm a fan. I like the flavor. It's just not, you can't like pluck it from memory as easy as a strawberry.
I don't even know what you're saying at that point. I don't know how to argue. The memory.
It doesn't remember well.
What does that mean?
What? What?
Doesn't remember well?
Like, what does a dragon fruit taste like? Do you remember?
I've never had one.
I don't think
never
I've ever had
tasted
one.
it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bad example.
There's not a single fruit that I've had that I couldn't like remember what it tasted like.
Really?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I think I'm with Andrew on that one. Yeah.
Oh shit.
You have fruit forgetfulness.
It's only a little bit. Like, if I ate one, I'd be like, that's definitely a blueberry. Like, if I ate one blindfolded,
Right, you would recognize it.
If I drank blueberry flavor, I don't think.
Oh, I didn't mean to send the. Sorry, continue.
So, okay, Gavin, if we're making a poster that said the boys of berries, what berries are you putting on? What are the three? What are your berry types?
Well, strawberry and raspberry are in, and probably banana.
A banana is a berry. I remember that was a crazy. Banana's still chalky. I will stand to that.
Nah,
It has
you're
a
wrong.
chalky texture.
You got bad banana memory.
You don't even have
You
fruit
do.
memory. I can't trust anything that you say about what fruit tastes like. You don't remember.
They're not chalky. Chalky,
You lost-
chalky to me is like almost like powdery in terms of texture and taste.
I don't know. I'm telling you how it is. And I think is the highest ranked Halo Infinite player here. I think my opinion stands above yours. What are you, gold 4? As a diamond 1, okay? I don't want to your fruit opinions are wrong, and I will hold to this.
What's the correlation between fruit and Halo?
It's just rank, Jeff, as you brought up, it's a military ranking in the past, so I just feel like I hold a higher standing.
Hey, let me ask you. All right, so here we go. What? Okay, here we go.
What?
Are you all right, man?
Yeah, I forgot how I wanted to start this. So I know we're not a fruit podcast anymore, and this isn't really a fruit thing.
Yeah, we're veg, right?
We're technically veg, but I was doing a little postmortem on all of our fruit related content recently. I was pretty happy with it, and I was just kind of thinking about the ins and outs of it and what worked and what didn't. And I had a thought in my head that I've expanded a little bit that I think may be some sort of a draft or maybe a compilation. I don't know how we would approach it, but I got to thinking about grape and how I just had made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich the other day, and grape jelly is so much better than grapes. That got me thinking, what's the best version of each flavor? So I wrote down what I would consider to be regulation flavors. And it's a little bit more than fruit, but let me give you my list and let me know if I can if I need to add or subtract anything if you guys disagree. This is a malleable list. I want to build it with you. Vanilla chocolate, strawberry, lemon, apple, grape, cherry, banana, and cheese are the flavors that I think are most often components in something else that aren't them.
Can you give them to me one more time?
Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, lemon, apple, grape, cherry, banana, and cheese.
I think that's a good list.
I think it's a very good list. I feel like raspberry being omitted is very interesting.
I was on the fence because it's like if I add raspberry, do I add blueberry? Do I add blackberry? It's a whole. I already have strawberry.
It's like
it's more popular than the other. Yeah,
it's like the snake eyes of flavors.
It's the snake eyes of flavors, 100%.
Okay,
so we can add or not add it. I chose that. Like I don't know. I felt like raspberry is opening up Pandora's box of berries, and I just didn't know where to close it. So. Like I said, totally happy to add it in or whatever. But you got me thinking, like, what if we got together in some way and everybody presented their, like, 3 best vanillas, 3 best grapes, 3 best apple flavors?
I think that's a great idea.
And then we see if we can determine Face's official list of what the best version of each flavor is in the world.
I like it. I think that's a great idea.
I really like the flavor list. I want to know if internationally that holds up. Like, if Gavin was like, oh, we don't do cherry. Like we do this other, we do woozles. Like that would.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely do more woozle than grape.
Okay.
Like I feel like the default jam in this country is grape, but in England I'd say it was strawberry.
Have you ever seen a blue raspberry?
Yeah. No.
I've never seen one, but I feel like you've eaten a blue raspberry.
I've eaten blue raspberry flavor.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like raspberry is so disrespected it gets turned into a flavor and is not actually a thing. Like there's so many better red things than the raspberry that it gets subjugated to the blue.
It does,
raspberry.
and that's absolutely what they do. They go, well, if it's red, it's cherry, so we'll make raspberry blue, and so when you drink this thing, blue is what you associate it to. That's why it's called that specifically. I think.
Should we add specifically blue raspberry in then?
What
I don't think so.
What drops though? Like I feel like your list is really strong.
Oh, I guess I was just going to add it. We don't have to drop anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 things on the list.
Oh, then yeah, it should be 10.
All right, we'll do a solid 10. We'll put blue raspberry, and then you just and it could be country specific if you want, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just trying to think of like when I think of blue raspberry, I think of blow pops.
I think of Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Which I've been drinking a lot of because of you, Jeff.
Oh, well,
I'm deep in the Kool-Aid train.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
I have a question for you guys.
Please.
I'm going to set up a scenario. You can tell me if I was in the right or wrong in this.
Wrong.
Let me get through all the details first. Are you familiar with Dairy Queen's Slurpee equivalent? You have a back history of it. They originally, it was called a Mr. Misty when I was a kid, and then they decided that wasn't appealing, so they changed it to an Arctic Rush, and then they modified it to an Arctic Chill, is I believe the current name for it. That's where we're at.
So it's had sequels.
It's had sequels.
In very vague terms, yes.
I've been a big fan of these products for my entire life. Like the grape one, they discontinued it. That's fine. And we all go through things in life. So I'm familiar with all the flavors. I'm going to post the 4 flavors that they have. Cherry, strawberry kiwi, blue raspberry, lemon lime.
There's 5 on the screen.
Yeah, but one of them is Misty Free. It's like a alternate beverage.
So it's not a slush.
No, it's just like a different version of a slush, but it's irrelevant.
Okay.
So they're the flavors: cherry, strawberry kiwi, blue raspberry, lemon lime. I was ordering from there, and I asked my partner would they like a drink, and they said they would like a raspberry slush. And I went, they don't have that. They don't. They have strawberry kiwi is their red one. And so I looked at it, and then I wrote, "They don't have that. Do you want what are you sure?" And they never replied. And so my brain went, "What is the closest to raspberry?" And I ordered strawberry kiwi because it's red. And then probably like 30 minutes after I made the order, they replied, "Are you joking? Is this," when I asked which one would they like. And so I ended up with a lemon lime and a strawberry kiwi to the raspberry request. Because to me, blue raspberry is blue. It's just blue. There's no...
But your partner didn't specify a color. They specified a fruit flavor.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of saying I'll have the lime or I'll have the kiwi. Like it's 50% of the name.
But I didn't... I'm so familiar with like, okay, that's strawberry kiwi, that's lemon lime, that's cherry, that's blue. I look at the blue one and I go, that's blue flavor, because blue raspberry isn't a real thing. It's not a real fruit.
Well, otherwise they'd have 3 red ones.
Totally agree. Totally agree with that, Andrew. So if I could just ask you one question, in
Yeah.
what way do you think you're right here?
I don't think I'm clearly wrong, but I think I made a justifiable mistake.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
I disagree
No.
with you, and I think we all disagree with you.
Do you guys view blue raspberry as a real flavor?
Yes.
Yeah, and it
Really?
says
Yeah.
it.
It
Yeah,
says
you
it.
can
No,
buy
I know
it
it
at the
does.
store and then they give it to you. It's real.
Blue, when it comes to artificial flavoring, blue is always bubblegum or raspberry. It's
Now,
one of
here's
those
the
two.
thing, Andrew, I get what you're saying,
It's
that blue
blue.
raspberry, not a real thing. When I asked you what a misty freeze was, you knew what that was, and that's just 2 words put together that don't mean anything. Blue raspberry, it doesn't just exist here.
Okay. Let me try to explain a little bit better my headspace. When I have a lemon lime flavored thing, there is a fruit equivalent that I'm going like, it kind of tastes like that. Maybe it doesn't taste like that. But because blue raspberries don't exist, to me, it's not a real, like, it's just blue. It's blue flavor. It's not a real flavor. It's not a real thing.
And what do we call the blue flavor?
It's blue raspberry.
Yeah.
But I would never think of that as raspberry. Does that make sense? To me, that's blue. Blue is the flavor. I omit the raspberry.
But they wanted a raspberry.
And what does blue taste?
They asked for raspberry.
But they don't have a raspberry. They got a blue raspberry.
They didn't ask for red cherry. They didn't ask for green lime. They just asked for raspberry.
It makes about as much sense as if they asked for blue and you said they don't have it, but they have raspberry.
That's, you know what? Gavin, you cracked the code on me conceding on this completely. Because I agree I'm in the wrong, but you're right. That is exactly, it's just, that's a dumb, I guess, my brain thing where when I see that, I immediately just go, they got blue, they got cherry, they got strawberry and mist or whatever, kiwi, and they got lemon. There's no raspberry. They just got blue.
But you weren't learning that blue was raspberry. You already knew that.
I just have decided, like, I have no respect for blue raspberry as a flavor.
It's a
I don't
respect thing.
recognize it as a name. It's just, it's blue
Well,
flavor.
you don't have to respect it. You just have to respect that your partner wants it.
Yeah, I thought they wanted actual raspberry because it was a thing where I don't think they have the familiarity I do with the flavor arrangement.
Right,
So I
you're
thought
so
they
smart.
were just throwing
You're
it
so
out.
smart. You're so much smarter. Yeah, you're smart.
No, not in the slightest. I just am more familiar with Dairy Queen.
Apparently you're not. Apparently you're far less familiar.
No, I'm incompetent, but more familiar. It's the incompetence is the issue. But that was, I just want to run that by. That was the first thing I want to explain. See if anyone was on the same page. Because sometimes I'm surprised.
I feel really good about my when I just instinctively jumped on the no.
You
nailed that.
An episode or 2 ago, I presented a new game to y'all called Worst Products in the World.
Yes.
I have another submission for you I'd like to give you guys
Okay.
that I found somewhere in Oklahoma at a Walmart, I think. I think this is one of the worst things to ever exist, and I'm happy to share it with you now. It is Cheetos Flamin' Hot Bath
What?
Dust.
What?
Citrus
What is
scented.
this?
Have you ever wanted to take a bath with Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Did you buy it?
No, I didn't buy it.
Why?
Oh, you gotta buy these.
Why?
All right, I'll go back and buy it if I see it again.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna look it up. Cheetos bath dust.
Yeah, Cheetos.
It's a bad
bath
product on
dust.
several levels because one, you don't want to smell like Cheetos, but also it's citrus scented, which has nothing to do with flaming hot Cheetos. It's not even
And it's flaming
representative.
hot, which is a weird thing to describe a bathtub.
So apparently, there's other
Oh,
ones.
Yeah, there you go.
Why?
Bath dust.
Why did they do that?
To sell $1?
I don't understand what it. So you don't eat it.
No.
The icy one I'm fine with.
But it's blue raspberry, Andrew.
Like what?
I don't recognize them then.
Why? So wait, everyone was mad about Tide Pods, but not this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is just food.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles soap. I mean, fucking come on.
To be fair, nobody's eating this as a trend, to my knowledge. I think these would equally be hated if people started eating their Cheetos flaming hot bath dust.
This is crazy.
I
Oh my
swear to God,
Oh my God.
I'm not even looking for this shit. Emily was buying Christmas garland, and it happened to be near where we were getting the garland. It's just unbelievable.
Ew, Eric just posted the photo of the what it looks like.
I found
looks
a
like a
video
film.
of this guy dumping it in. Oh my God. It makes your bathtub look like you're about to cook mac and cheese. It looks
Like, surely you would stand up and it would dye your body on the way out.
wow, this is nuts.
All right,
I
well,
can't believe these are real.
We'll
Good
have
pick.
to buy some and all take baths in it.